ॐ नमो नारायणाय। श्रीराम राम राम श्रीरामचन्द्र जय। श्रीराम राम राम श्रीरामभद्र जय. The Adhyatma Ramayana is actually starting with a fervent chanting of the holy name of Rama. Rama is the hero of Ramayana, of course. And the name Rama itself is auspicious. And just by hearing that word, just by chanting that word, we can rejoice and also forget all the human afflictions and human problems in our life. And chanting the name of holy Rama is considered auspicious and meditative. Actually, an uneducated hunter who lived in the forest got enlightened just by chanting the Ramanama. And when he got the audience with the Brahma, Lord Brahma said, "Okay, you are fit to say the story of Rama." So that's how Valmiki Ramayana, the real Ramayana, the first Ramayana started. And that, as Dr. Padmakumar said, it has 24,000 slokas, and that covers the whole life of Rama along with the principles and principles of life itself. And a great book or a research paper starts with an abstract, and that's how this Ramayana also starts. Adhyatma Ramayana, in the beginning itself, it clearly shows exactly what is going to come in the whole book. It is an abstract, a summary of the whole Ramayana that is coming in the Bala kandham itself. Bala kandham is the first kandham and first chapter, so to say, and the story is actually developed in such a way that goddess Parvati is asking Lord Parameswara to explain what is the principle behind Rama and what is the story of Rama. And that question is because of that question, Lord Parameswara is explaining all the details regarding that. And so Parvati, his consort, is asking him respectfully to elucidate the principle behind the incarnation of Sri Rama. She was very specific in that she asked detailed discourse on philosophical theories and their practice. She wanted to know the characteristics of various paths approaching the divine through devotional, meditative, yogic, and karmic paths leading to the ultimate liberation. She also wanted to know the best ways for people to live as in this society as an ideal person and how to conduct as an individual in the society. So she is asking all these to be explained in detail. And Lord Parameswara was very happy, and he obliged. And principle behind the Sri Rama's incarnation is a divine secret, and that should be imparted only to people who are worthy of it. Worthy in the sense who are actually interested in it, who are actually going to benefit out of it, and also who are patient enough to listen to it. It is like having a trust to the teacher. We are not asking anybody to believe it. It is a trust. That means you listen to the story carefully and also assimilate what is needed to be known. And in the beginning itself, as an abstract, the principle of Rama Tattva, is given in the episode where Lord Parameswara is saying, okay, let us, from Kailasa, let us move fast to the place Ayodhya. In Ayodhya, Sri Rama has been coronated after the war, killing Ravana and everything, and the whole retinue of people, monkeys, and everybody was there in the court of Sri Rama. And at that time, Rama is asking, Sita, haven't you noticed Hanuman there? And Hanuman is the most worthy person to discuss anything. So he is asking, Sita, why don't you tell the story, or not only the story, the philosophy behind my presence in this world now? Not only my presence, also your presence. So Sita Devi was really enthused at her Lord's advice, and she started started elucidating the principle behind Rama. And she says, "O son of Marut, the god of the vital air, I know you are the most deserving devotee. That's why I'm giving this principle." And basically, the principle is just as Dr. Padmakumar said, it is about you are that. And the connection or the relationship between the individual jiva and Paramatma has been established in this discourse. And that discourse is not very easy to understand for people just by saying it. But you have to have so many discourses based on the actual principles, not only principles, but how people lived with that principle to assimilate this kind of knowledge. Sri Rama is none other than the ultimate reality, now appearing before us as the king, your master and my husband. That's what Sita Devi is saying. So, after this principle is elucidated, suddenly we have to go back to Kailas. In that Kailas, Lord Shiva is actually narrating Ramayana to Parvati. And Parvati has asked, give me all the details of Rama, because Rama avatar, although you are Rama in front of me, but what is the principle behind this? So he says, Lord Parameshwara says, Valmiki wrote the 24,000 stanzas, 24,000 slokas, but I got a backdoor entry to the story because I got it directly from uh, Rama, because I am also a devotee of Rama. Lord Parameswara is saying, I am also a devotee of Rama. And Rama himself told me this story. Rama himself gave me this inner secret. And that is the Adhyatma Ramayana. And that Adhyatma Ramayana, Lord Parameswara was very happy to impart to the most worthy disciple at that moment. She is the disciple. She is listening to Lord Parameswara. And that's how he starts explaining the story. And now the Balagandam starts. The Balagandam starts with Ayodhya. Ayodhya is, there is no problems there. Yuddham is basically war. There is no calamity, there is no problem there. It's a perfect land, perfect king. The king is a great warrior and a hero. And he is Dasaratha. Dasaratha means he can actually drive 10 chariots at the same time. So he is a very veteran and great warrior. But he had a personal issue. That is, he didn't have any progeny. He didn't have any sons. So he took the counsel with Vasishta, his guru, and then Guru advised him to do a yaga, a Vedic ritual, a fire ritual. And based on that Putragamishti ritual, he was given, actually he got a payasam, that is a prasadam from the yajna. And the king had 3 wives. And in Ramayana, it actually says Dasharatha, after the ritual, he got a little bit entangled in this busy yaga, and the Malayalam word used is Shaithilyatmana. Shaithilyatmana means his mind was not very concentrated. That's why, although he had 3 wives, he divided this payasam or this prasadam only to two of his wives, Kausalya and Kaikeyi. But these ladies were very smart and also very devoted to their husband. And what they did was they gave half of each of their portions to Sumitra, the 3rd wife, and all 4 of them got pregnant, and they had 4 beautiful, handsome sons: Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Satrughna. And the whole country was rejoicing because of the presence of this wonderful princess in the country, because they were thinking, what will the king do, because he didn't have any progeny. So that problem was solved, and the whole country, the palace was actually rejoicing because of the boys were having the their actually the childhood pranks and their ability to catch and ability to learn things in a fast pace, that was a actually great thing for people to enjoy. And they grew up, they in the preteen years itself, they learned all the Vedas and all the archery and all the required teachings were given by great gurus. And as Padmakumar mentioned also, the Vishwamitra, the great sage, came there by the time Rama was just about 18 years old, and all the brothers as well. And at that time, sage Vishwamitra wanted somebody to help him in conducting the yajnas in the forest, because the yajnas were disturbed by people. Basically, they are demons or asuras who are actually, they didn't want any noble things to happen in the society. And because of that, the sage Vishwamitra asked help of Rama, and reluctantly Dasharatha sent Rama, and Lakshmana also went with them. And the sage Rama and Lakshmana, went into the forest. And in the forest, because they were princes and they didn't have any experience in the forest, the sage gave them enough counsel and also gave them a very secret mantra, Bala and Adibala, and with which they could actually survive days on end without eating and drinking. So they went to the hermitage, and they helped the rishis conduct the yajnas by killing or protecting, giving security to the yajna venues. And in the process, they had to kill a few asuras, and they had to kill demonas as well. And on the way, the sage took them to a place where there was a big rock, and it was considered a pious rock. And the rock was very close to the hermitage of sage Gautama. And the story behind that particular rock was very interesting. It was Ahalya who was actually meditating in such a way that she wasn't moving. She wasn't moving, and she was like rock for so many years. She was meditating upon Rama. And when Rama came and Rama's feet touched the rock, she got up, and also she was actually redeemed of all her sins. And then she started doing a great hymn in propitiating the Lord, and that is known as Ahalya Stuti, and that is a beautiful, beautiful stuti that we all have to learn. And after that, the sage took them to Mithila, where there was a Swayamvara that was happening. And Sita, the daughter of King Janaka, was getting married. And Janaka, the king, was hoping for the topmost bridegroom to come and marry his daughter. And because of that, he put up a competition, or a contest, wherein he had a big bow, a heavy bow that was actually Lord Parameshwara's bow. And if anybody can lift that bow and break it, that will be the person who will be marrying my daughter. So that was the story. The sage Vishwamitra took the boys to the palace, and King Janaka was enthused to introduce them to this bow. And with all the respect paid to his guru and the king and the public, Rama went and touched the bow, and then he lifted it very easily and then broke it, and that resulted in the Rama marrying Sita. I'm actually saying it in a very very I'm summarizing it. And along, once this has happened, the whole society, the palace of Janaka, everybody was happy, and they decided to bring King Dasharatha and that family, the bridegroom's family, to Mithila. and there was a big wedding celebration. And along with the wedding of Sita and Rama, they decided, yeah, they have other King Janaka had three other daughters, and Dasarada has three more sons. So they have four weddings happening at the same time. So Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Satrughna, all of them got married, and they as a big retinue with all the gifts and all the chariots and the horses and the elephants gifted by King Janaka, they went to Ayodhya, and in on the way they met with a very strange phenomenon. And that phenomenon was basically Lord Parasurama stopped them and asked, "Who are you? Who are you? You also have the name Rama. How come? Because I'm the only Rama. I'm supposed to be the only Rama here." And there was a lot of back and forth in terms of philosophy, and also initially the encounter started as a fight, but then later it became a great meeting of minds. And basically, Lord Parasurama and Lord Sri Rama both are incarnations of the divine, and then one incarnation actually imparted the divine gifts and divine abilities to the next incarnation, Sri Rama, and that is where the Bala kandham is ending. And they all reached Ayodhya, the palace of Dasharatha, and then they rejoiced their life, and the king and the queens had the best time of their life in Ayodhya. And tomorrow we will start Ayodhya Kandam. Om Namo Narayanaya Namah Shivaya Adulida Baladamam Surna Sailabhadeham Dhanujavanagrisanam Jnaninamagraganyam Sakala Gunanidhanam Varananamadisham Rekhubadi Priyabhaktam Vadajatam Namami Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah.